Today, we'll be doing the final division for our division mock draft series with the NFC West with the Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into this mock draft. So the first team is the Niners. Quick look at the draft real quick. We got Cam Ward, Shedeur, Carter, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Jahdae Barron, Genty, Will Campbell, McMillan, and Tyler Warren are all off the board at pick 11 for the Niners. So best players, you got Malachi Starks, Jahad Campbell, Armand Membo, Mike Green, Will Johnson, Luther Burden. I already know who I'm leaning towards, but let's look here first. So the Niners depth chart, our team needs. Here they need line, pretty much is all D-line, and corners as well. Because the Niners lost a lot of players. Was it Aaron Banks? Is that who they lost to the Packers at O-line? They lost Deebo Samuel. They lost Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga. They lost a lot. So yeah, they definitely need some help on... It doesn't say they need pass rush help, but I honestly think they do. Because it's just Nick Bosa. I mean, you don't hate Yetur Gross-Matos, but he's more just a rotational depth pass rusher. He's not a guy you necessarily want to be your rusher next to Nick Bosa. They could use linebacker because, again, they lost Dre Greenlaw. You trust Fred Warner to obviously do what he does, but you need help out around him. I'm not upset at D. Winters, but you need help next to Fred Warner. Your secondary honestly, your whole defense needs help. Because you have Nick Bosa, but you need someone next to him. You have Fred Warner, but you need someone next to him. You have Diomedor Lenoir, but you need someone next to him. And then offensively, they could use a receiver, but I think receiver is the least of their worries. And then O-line. I was between Armand Membo, Mike Green, and I guess Will Johnson as well. I mean, they could go Mykel Williams, who I think is going to get picked higher than Mike Green. And they need pass rush. And I think Mykel Williams not only is potentially the best player on the board, but potentially the best player on the outside of Armand Membo. But I don't want to take him because I took him in a different mock draft in the first round with the Giants. So you know what? I'm going to go Mykel Williams here because he could very well go high. So could Jalen Walker, but for the same reason Armand Membo. I don't want to take Jalen Walker if you saw the NFC South mock draft. So I'm going to go Mykel Williams here to the Niners at 11. I think he gets picked higher than Mike Green just because of all the off-the-field stuff. Now, Cardinals are at 16. Will Johnson, Membo, Golden, and Jahad Campbell all went before pick 16. So looking at the Cardinals depth chart real quick, says they need guard. Obviously, you can see that. Their O-line is pretty much just Paris Johnson. I mean, Jonah Williams and Kelvin Beachum are okay as well, but they have okay tackles, but their interior of the O-line's not the best. Now, Membo isn't available anyway, so you're not going to take him. Receiver-wise, they could go with a receiver, possibly. They already took Marvin Harrison, so I don't think they'll take another, because I do like Michael Wilson. I like Greg Dortch. I even like Zay Jones. Defensively, they obviously bring in Josh Sweat as well as Calais Campbell. So you now have those guys with guys like Zaven Collins, Darius Robinson, even Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle, as well as even a Bilal Nichols. So their D-line is okay. I don't think they necessarily have to go D-line. And then they need corner as well. I mean, they could go D-line, obviously. They need corner, but you don't really... Will Johnson's off the board. Do you go Malachi Starks and pair him alongside Budda Baker? But I like Jalen Thompson. He's only 26. So I don't know do you necessarily believe in Jalen Thompson? Do you go Malachi Starks here? Do you just go a Mike Green and pair him alongside Josh Sweat? Because Justin Jones, he hasn't had necessarily the best career. I don't know. I think it's between Mike Green or Kenneth Grant here, because there's no guards necessarily worth taking. You could go Jalen Walker as well. It's Jalen Walker and Mike Green. Because I don't think Jalen Walker will be on the board at 16, I'm going to go Mike Green to the Cardinals at 16. Pair him alongside Josh Sweat, and that pass rush just got tremendously better for the Cardinals. Seahawks are up at 18. They need O-line and edge here. I was looking at their depth chart. You do like Charles Cross a lot, obviously. They could use some help in the interior. I think their receivers are pretty set with MVS, Cooper Kupp, JSN. They even got Jake Bobo, of course. Running backs are good with Kenneth Walker. Their offense is pretty good outside of their interior line. And then on defense, I thought their D-line was actually pretty decent. You bring in DeMarcus Lawrence. You have Ernest Jones rushing the passer, as well as Leonard Williams. Because it's a 3-4, so they only really play like off the ball linebackers. You only really see two, and that's Tyrese Knight. Oh, Boye Mafe is the pass rusher. Ernest Jones is the off-ball guy. Their linebackers are pretty good. They could use a D-line, like a nose tackle type guy. And then, their secondary is pretty good still. So you could go with a Kenneth Grant, who is mainly that nose tackle D-line type of guy. He rarely plays near the tackles. So you could go Kenneth Grant here. Could just stack your receiver room and get Luther Burden to be your DK Metcalf replacement, even though doesn't play like DK Metcalf. But, because again, you're not going to go any of these guards. Like, you're not going to go, you could go Tyler Booker, hypothetically. But looking at their picks, they have so many picks. They have pick 50, 52, and 82, and even 92. They can get Tate Ratledge later, I think. So I don't think they have to go reach on Tyler Booker necessarily. I think I'm leaning towards Kenneth Grant here. So yeah, I'm going to go Kenneth Grant to the Seahawks at 18. Rams are next up at 26. Looking at their depth chart, it says they need tight end, tackle, linebacker, corner. I think you're okay at tight end, honestly. Tyler Warren's off the board, so you're not going to go tight end. Tackle, you bring in, or you maintain Alaric Jackson. You have Rob Havenstein. Linebacker, I definitely could see them getting a linebacker. Because I don't know if you like Nate Landman and Omar Spates being your guys there. Because their D-line is completely set with Kobe Turner, Braden Fist, Poona Ford, Byron Young, Jared, perfect. So I think it's corner or linebacker. You probably don't go with any of the linebackers. Because if we look at here, they could go Colston Loveland, honestly. You're not going to go Demetrius Knight at 26, right? So do you go with a tackle / guard in Gray Zabel? I think you like your guards if you're the Rams. Because you don't need to go James Pierce. That is the last thing you need if you're the Rams. I'm honestly leaning toward Colston Loveland because if we look at the corners, it's just Trey Amos or Maxwell Hairston. Hairston could go in the first, to be honest, but I'm leaning towards Colston Loveland, honestly. It's him or Gray Zabel. I haven't drafted Colston Loveland in any of these mocks, so I'll go Colston Loveland to the Rams at 26. Next is the Niners at 43. Got the Michael Williams in the first. I know they didn't really technically need an edge, but I feel like they did. So they could be one of the teams to take these interior linemen out of Georgia, Ratledge or Jared Wilson, because they need help. They do still have Dominic Pooney, who gave him had a good rookie season, right? Yeah, had a good rookie season, so you like him, but you could get a guy next to him in Tate Ratledge. I don't know if you go at 43 for a guy like that. Could replace Hufanga with a Kevin Winston. But I think you look at Trey Amos if you're the Niners. Because you got Diamador Lenore, who's your nickel. Or do you go Maxwell Hairston? I kind of like Maxwell Hairston. I also think he'll get drafted more. So I'm actually going to go Maxwell Hairston here to the San Francisco 49ers. They need help on defense, I think, more than offense, especially with None of the guards really being worth potentially that 43rd pick. Cardinals at 47 got them Mike Green as their first round pick. They also are a team that could go corner here. A little bit better cornerback room than the Niners, I'd say, but still could use help with a guy like Trey Amos or Siobhan Revel. You could go Jaden Higgins, but again, I like their receiver core. You're not going to take one of the O linemen, interior linemen. The D line are not there either. So yeah, I'll go Trey Amos to the Cardinals. They need corner. He's probably one of the better players available. I think it works out perfectly. Seahawks at 50, they went Kenneth Grant. They also have pick 52 as well. So we pretty much basically have back-to-back picks here with the Seahawks. So we can kind of get two of these guys. Because I can see the Broncos going offense. So does Seattle, if we look at best players, I mean, you got like Demetrius Knight, Donovan Jackson. You still got the two corners, but I don't think they need to go corner. You still have Tate Ratledge on the board. But I think you can get him at 82 if you're Seattle. Or do you just take him at 52? They need edge rush. Is there any good edge rushers? Jack Sawyer's here. I like Jack Sawyer. He could be one of the two picks. What else could they need? Because it says they need pass rush, but I guess that's since DeMarcus Lawrence is on the older side, is why you might want to get a pass rusher. Because I could honestly see Jack Sawyer being like an outside linebacker, 3-4 pass rusher. Because I don't know where else you'd go here. So, yeah, I'm going to go. Jack Sawyer will be one of the picks. Do they need a safety? They got Kobe and Julian Love. Corners. I mean, you like Tariq Rowland, you like Weatherspoon. You probably could get another corner just to get best player available and go with Siobhan Revel. But I'm actually going to go tackle here. Two Ohio State guys for Seattle. I'll go Donovan Jackson at 50, and then they'll go with Jack Sawyer, edge rusher, at 52. I couldn't really find it because the best guys available are all secondary players practically, and they're not going to go with any of those guys. So I like that. Niners at 75, got a Michael Williams and Maxwell Harrison with their first two picks. Now do we look towards the O-line? Because guess who is now in range? Tate Ratledge. They also need tackle help, and we've gone all defense for them. Because Trent Williams is up there in age, and they don't really have guys outside of him. So do you like any of the tackles? Do you like Marcus Mbow? Is he a right tackle? Because Trent Williams is old, obviously, but Marcus Mbow is the right tackle. I'll go Marcus Mbow to the Niners at 75. Cardinals at 78. Are they the Tate Ratledge team? We're trying to figure out who's going to end up with Tate Ratledge. Because all these teams need guards, and they all have picks around his range. Cardinals went Mike Green and Trey Amos. They don't have a pick after this. So this is their last pick here. And I think you got to go Tate Ratledge if you're the Cardinals. Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy pick. Tate Ratledge, welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks, unfortunately, miss out on Tate Ratledge. They have a lot of picks. So they have a tackle, an edge, and a D-line. All Big Ten. Do we give them Kevin Winston? Keep the Big Ten going? Do we give them Jordan Birch? But he's not true Big Ten, is he? He's Oregon. I could see them going Jalen Royals just to get somebody because you like MVS. You like Jake Bobo. But Cooper Kupp's older too, so you could just get receiver depth. That's not a bad option. You could get tight end depth and actually go with a Terrence Ferguson. Because it's Noah Fant and that's it. So do you go Jake Ferguson or do you go with a Jared Wilson? I think you go Jared Wilson. I've talked myself into Jared Wilson. They need center. Who's their center? Oluwatimi? I don't know if I mispronounced that, but yeah. We'll go Jared Wilson to the Seahawks at 82. They could probably get Terrence Ferguson. Never mind. He went to Denver at 85. Rams are up at 90. They got Colston Loveland in the first. We didn't give them a corner because they were kind of out of range, but Dorian Strong is now in range for them. And I think that's who... Maybe they go QB here. Maybe they go Jalen Milroe just to, get Matt Stafford's replacement. But I don't think so. I think they're far away from that. I like Dorian Strong here. I've got him a couple times in these. So I'll go Dorian Strong, corner out of Virginia Tech. Seahawks are back at 92. Is there any tight ends worth taking? I know they don't need tight end, but I love Harold Fannin. You can have Fannin and Fant. Sounds great. They could get another guard. Could go with a Willie Lampkin here out of UNC. Because they don't really need... Any of these tackles play guard. Wyatt Millum seems like he's a tackle. Cameron Williams seems like he's a tackle. Because we already got him a tackle. We got him Donovan Jackson. Charles Grant, he played pretty much all tackles. So it seems like it's just tackles. I like Harold Fannin here. And that's what I'm going to go with. Backup Noah Fant. Sounds like a good pick to me. Niners at 100. So they have an edge, corner, and tackle taken so far. Another team that needs a guard. Or do we give him a D lineman? Because Deion Walker's here. Or do you go... No, they don't need a receiver, do they? Do the Niners need a receiver like depth? No. I'll go Deion Walker to the Niners. I feel like he was pretty high early on in the year, but he must have fallen off for a reason. But I think it's good value at 100. Last pick is the Rams at 101. Got them Colston Loveland and Dorian Strong with their first two picks. Do they go tackle here? Do they go with Anthony Belton? I mean, you need tackle. He's the best. He's the only tackle worth even taking in this spot. So he's pretty much the last tackle of this tier of tackles of like the Charles Grants, the Cameron Williams, the Wyatt Millums of the world. Because you like Alaric Jackson, obviously, but Rob Havenstein is on the older side. He's 32. Primarily plays right tackle. Anthony Belton's a left tackle, but you know what? I mean, because if you look at tackles, it's I'll go Anthony Belton to the Rams at 101. And that will conclude our last division mock draft. Quick overview. Niners took Mykel Williams at 11. Cardinals went Mike Green at 16. Seahawks, Kenneth Grant at 18. Rams, Colston Loveland at 26. Niners, Maxwell Harrison at 43. Cardinals, Trey Amos at 47. Donovan Jackson at 50 to the Seahawks. And then Jack Sawyer at 52 to the Seahawks. Niners at 75, Marcus Embo. Cardinals at 78, Tate Ratledge. Seahawks at 82, Jared Wilson. Rams at 90, Dorian Strong. Seahawks 92, Harold Fannin Jr. Niners 100, Deion Walker. And then the Rams at 101, Anthony Belton. If you enjoyed the video, as always, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.